It's time for some ZX Spectrum on Old School. It's about time. It's been a long time since, like I say, I have played or featured some ZX Spectrum. Here we are, guys. Barbarian II on, you guessed it, the ZX Spectrum. That was a bit dramatic, that noise. So, I played both. So I played the original and I played the sequel, this. I owned the sequel, this, back in the day, on my trusty Specky, as everyone called the system. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember this being better than it actually is, I think. So the original is slightly different. Let's touch on the original first. The original game is like a one-on-one Street Fighter type beat-em-up game, if you like. Arena fighter. What do you call those one-on-one fighters? What is the official terminology? But it's one of those. You're limited to one screen. You can't go off and explore. This is a slightly advanced, if you like, version of that game. If I can get past this, whatever it's supposed to be. Is it supposed to be some form of ape? I've just got to remember the controls here, guys. So I'm using the Xbox controller as the joystick. It's emulating and basically pretending that it's the Kempston joystick, which is what I would have used back in the day, like many of you with the Spectrum. Just the one fire button. It's clunky. The controls for this game are clunky. So basically you pull down on the joystick to turn around. But but sometimes you pull down and it turns around twice. So you're back facing the way you don't want to face, if that makes any sense whatsoever. You wouldn't guess it from my coverage of this game so far, but I loved this game. I spent a lot of time with this game, and yeah, it hasn't aged well. Now, with the Spectrum, yes, the graphics are a bit funky. They're very, very dated now with the monochrome and stuff, but I think this game still looks decent. I really like the colour scheme going on with this. And some of the Spectrum games are still really good to play today. This isn't one of them. It's not terrible. I've just got to remember how the hell I swing my axe. There is... Oh my days, this is so frustrating. There is a knack to pulling off the moves, like I say, with your axe. And it's just remembering how to do it. Because all I've done before hitting record is I wrote down some reviews for you guys. What the magazines were saying back in the day about Barbarian II. I prefer this to the original. I wasn't that keen on the original. Got bored pretty quickly. I mean, this was quite ahead of its time, really. There weren't a lot of games like this on the Spectrum. I mean, you did get Final Fight coming to the Spectrum later on in Spectrum's life. Shameless plug, check it out. We've done it on the channel. Dave actually kindly put together the footage and played a bit of the Final Fight on Spectrum, so I didn't have to. But yeah, these games were few and far between. We also had stuff like Target Renegade, which I've also featured on Old School. A fantastic game. But yeah, these brawlers were big business around this time, but you were always better off hitting your local arcades and playing them there, to be quite honest, or on the Amiga if you were fortunate to have one. At this stage of my life, I mean, I was young, I was a kid. I didn't have an Amiga. I didn't get an Amiga till a little bit later in its life. I couldn't afford an Amiga. My parents couldn't afford an Amiga for me. It was a very expensive home computer, if you didn't know. It cost around £450 to £500, depending on where you shopped. So I had the Spectrum and a lot of games, because you could get all the budget, sort of $2.99, $1.99 Mastertronic cassettes. This, I think I'm right in saying, was a $7.99. It was an £8 job. This is like a AAA game, basically. And it's frustrating as all hell to play this. I'm going to glance over at some reviews. So, Sinclair user. I used to buy that magazine as I die there. I'm pressing 5 so we can see the princess, because you could play as her as well, but it's not doing anything. Yeah, Sinclair user, guys, gave this a 69%. So 69 out of 100. If you didn't know what percent meant. Your Sinclair, my favourite Spectrum magazine. Always used to come with brilliant cover tapes. Future Publishing were the guys who published that magazine, who went on to publish the likes of Edge, etc. There was always the magazine with the nice shiny quality cover compared to the Sinclair users and Crash, or was it Zap? I think Zap 64 was the C64 magazine and Crash was the Spectrum one, wasn't it? But anyway, your Sinclair, this got a 6 out of 10. And Crash, which I just mentioned, so again, these are all Spectrum magazines, gave this an 81%. They liked it. This was on the other home computers as well, so if you're interested, Zap 64, obviously the C64, it had the Gold Award. It was a 96% score in that magazine for this game. CMVG gave the Amiga version a 9 out of 10. That was the place. The Commodore platform, 16 or 8-bit, was the place to play this game. Not on the Spectrum. Because I keep getting stuck facing this way. That dude you could see up on the top left there. I'm pretty sure you fight him in the first game. He's like the final boss. I mean, what is this thing supposed to be? I also remember the box for this. So it came in a massive cardboard box. Now, not the size of something like an Amazon box, guys. But it was a big game box. And on the cover was a scantily clad Barbarian S, if that's even such a word. So the princess Barbarian lady. And the male, and I think the guy who played the male was the model for the photo shoot for the cover of that box art. I'll get there, I promise. It was Wolf from the Gladiator TV show that we had here in the UK. You guys in North America obviously would have known it as American Gladiators. What is this thing? In post-editing, I will throw the cover art up, guys. I don't think YouTube will be too funny about it. I mean, the lady is clothed, kind of. But yeah, this is interesting. I'm being kind. I'm slowly and surely getting used to this now. These things remind me of the little alien dudes in Half-Life 2. So yeah, just spam the kick. Oh. But this game fascinated me when I was a kid. Absolutely fascinated me. I played a lot of it. I'd never finished it, but I don't think I ever finished any Spectrum games because they were either very vague, really, really difficult, or both. So you got your money's worth, basically, because the games, I don't think, were long, were they, on the 8-bits? There you go. At last, I figured that out. You got to hold the fire button first, a split second, like a millisecond before you move the joystick in whatever particular direction. It's really, really faffy. Is faffy a word? Coming up with loads of new words today. It's a faff. It's just, yeah. It's not... I was going to say it's not fun to play. It is fun to play. When you actually connect with the combat, or when the combat comes off, it feels satisfying, even to this day. You've got to remember this game is 1989, 88. I wish I'd written it down, the year of release, actually, because I'm intrigued. I want to know when this did release. But I'm going to go with 89. I think it was around then. Developed by Palace. I'll always remember that. And this is the only version I've played. It probably would have been a better idea just to see what the C64 version was like for old school. But this is memories. I've played this, and there's more for me to say about it because I've played it here on the ZX Spectrum. But yeah, that's Barbarian 2, guys. Let me know in the comments if you played this or the original. Let me know what system you played it on. Look out for more content coming to the channel. Got so much planned. I must say that at the end of every video now. But we have. And as I get kicked in the back, look, I can't turn around. Yes, I can. As I get kicked by this ape, or whatever it is, I bid you farewell. I'll speak to you all soon.